Welcome back to Talk of the Town on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town for this Friday, November 4th. I'm Gary Stevens. On this first Friday of the month, we set aside this time to get caught up with things going on at the Community Foundation of the Holland, Zeeland area, and to provide the update of what's going on at the CFHZ is the Vice President of Development and Donor Services for the Foundation, Colleen Hill. She's on the other side of our Zoom connection this morning. Colleen, good morning and welcome to WHTC.
Hi, Gary. Good morning. Thank you.
Glad you are with us. And if you have a question about what's going on at the Community Foundation, Colleen would be happy to answer it at 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. Responsive grants was what Mike Gorehouse, the president, would have wanted to talk about today. Mike is tied up, but he has passed the baton to you as a new way that these grants are being awarded. Tell us about the new way and about who will be the first recipients of these responsive grants.
Absolutely. Thanks, Gary. Well, yes, we did announce, and I think Mike has been on your program to share our new grant-making strategy, which now includes just a couple of different ways in which we give grants, which of course is the most important part of our work in distributing the dollars from our community's endowment, our pooled flexible resource of philanthropic funds that the community has entrusted to us. And now we've got two ways of distributing grants, both a responsive grant program, which I'll be sharing more about today, which will actually seem very familiar to a lot of your listeners because it was formerly known as our competitive grant making strategy, and it's the way that we've done grants for a while. Next grant round that you'll see will be our new grant making strategy, which will be our proactive grant-making strategy, where we actually look at specific issue areas in the community that we want to address and put energy toward. Those grants, particularly focused on mental health, will be our next grant round, and we're actually accepting applications for those right now. And it'll be near the end of the year that we'll be on your program to share those with folks. But today I'm going to share about our most recent responsive round of grants that was just approved, hot off the press last week by our board of trustees. Our responsive grant making is an open funnel process that allows the Community Foundation to invest in timely opportunities across a broad range of impact areas, including the arts and culture, community, economic development, environment, education, health, human services, housing, all these different types of issue areas. The list can go on. So a few times a year, local nonprofits have the ability to apply for funding for eligible capital requests, new programs, or existing programs that have some sort of significant expansion or enhancement. When considering eligible requests, the Community Foundation prioritizes proposals that are core to a nonprofit's mission, have a lasting impact in our community, represent a turning point or pivot point for that particular organization, and we like to see them address inequities in our community. Our distribution committee of the Community Foundation is who is responsible for diligently reviewing these applications, and they seek to fund organizations that demonstrate organizational capacity and successful implementation of a proposed project. We particularly look for financial stability within those organizations, their leadership capacity, and a record of successful project and program delivery. So, without further ado, let's talk about the most recent grant awards. So in this grant round approved last week, we approved $144,800 to 5 local nonprofit organizations. So the first being Harbor Humane Society we approved a $40,000 grant over 2 years for them to fund a brand new position called a community outreach manager. This new position will work collaboratively with other community organizations to assist community members in need of keeping their pets in their homes or with loved ones or in a safe place while they seek services. So we think this really matters because oftentimes individuals who are living in a crisis situation are reluctant to call the Humane Society because they feel that this step will result in a permanent separation from their pet. The new team member leading community outreach will manage the intake, diversion, emergency medical care for pets, temporary foster situations, provide supplies for those pets, etc., so that individuals could seek other services. This position is really being created out of a demand. So there are many examples of individuals in our community either living in, for example, would be in a domestic abuse situation or perhaps living in homelessness. And because of the community services that they want to seek cannot offer shelter for both them and their pet, understandably, these services would allow that individual to find some sort of care for their pet, either with another family member, within the shelter, within a foster home, so that that person can feel safe that their pet is being taken care of and that they will be reunited with them. Unfortunately, often people don't seek services when they are in a domestic abuse situation or in a homeless situation because they would need to be separated from their pets. So this allows that care to be taken for the pet and hopefully for them to be reunited at a time that is safe for both. So this is really a community level collaborative approach where they can work with other agencies in the community to help the individuals seek services while also finding solutions for the pet and hopefully uniting those two safely at a time when it makes sense. So this will be a brand new position for Harbor Humane Society. So we're excited to fund that for the next 2 years and see how that programming grows and how many folks that they are able to serve. The next grant will be a $30,000 grant that was awarded to Gateway Mission for their Gateway Spoon Cafe and Grill. And this is, you may be familiar, many of your listeners may be familiar with the old Denny's building over there by the Gateway Mission that's been kind of vacant for quite some time. So that is being renovated into the Gateway Spoon Cafe and Grill. And this will allow the Gateway Mission to expand and further develop their vocational training through real life business practices. So by expanding training opportunities for people who are getting back on their feet, by giving them experience in the culinary arts, hospitality, restaurant-based customer service with hands-on on-site job training. This will serve about 15 program participants per year. And the great thing about this programming through Gateway, their services that help get people kind of back on the path and providing some vocational training. It gives those individuals skills that they can turn into real life careers. It also is an opportunity through the Gateway Spoon Cafe and Grill to create revenue for the Gateway Mission so that they've got sustainable funding through what they'll be earning through revenue from operating that cafe. So it's a real win-win for our community, both for folks who are getting back on their feet, their guests there at Gateway Mission, but also for long-term sustainable support for Gateway Mission in general.
Before we continue, Colleen, let me just add one quick note here. We are scheduled to have some representatives from Gateway Mission join us Monday on WHTC's Talk of the Town, and we'll bring that topic up when they do come in on Monday morning.
Oh, so great. Well, good. Well, I'm sure that they'll have a lot to share and be able to expand on what are the great things that they're doing there and how that's helping their guests at the mission.
Let's continue your list.
All right. Our next award was another $30,000 grant. This one is to Opportunity Thrive, and this will be for the new Teacher Support Series. So in Ottawa County, and this is pretty common nationwide, about 44% of educators leave the education field within the first 5 years. It's a tough job and it's hard to retain folks. And the cost to replace an educator, including rehiring, retraining, is estimated to be around $10,500 in a rural district and as much as $21,000 in an urban district. So this can be quite expensive, as with any position when it turns over. But this can be quite tough on our school systems and on our education system. And so the new Teacher Support Series by Opportunity Thrive is in partnership with the Ottawa Area Intermediate School District, as well as our local school systems. And it'll serve about 86 first-year teachers in Ottawa County each year. Each educator will experience common training in development and support, instructional strategies, social emotional support and learning tools, and then tools for positive behavior development with the students, just skills that they need in those first 5 years to kind of grow into their role and to feel supported. So this training will be provided through 5 full days of professional development offered to these new teachers, and hopefully give them the tools and the strategies to bring back to their classrooms and to feel more successful, to be more successful, and to be more supported in those first few years of their teaching. So we're excited to be funding that work, and we're excited that that work is happening. Another great example of collaboration in our community amongst the schools, the ISD, and then this programming through Opportunity Thrive. Our next grant was to Ready for School, and this was for an expansion of their summer kindergarten readiness camp. This is they've been doing this camp for several years now, and this award was granted for $22,800 to expand the camp. And this is to increase capacity for them to offer this program to more students. And we feel that this programming is more important than it's probably ever been, and that this expansion is particularly important right now because of the COVID-19 pandemic. There are actually several children who never had 2, maybe 3 years of a preschool experience before entering kindergarten, which has always kind of been an issue, but we've been working as a community for many years to increase the number of children who are in preschool. But because of the pandemic, that just wasn't even possible. And so there's quite a gap in the last couple of years. And there are children who are going into kindergarten these years who have never had any sort of formal educational experience. And so what this program does it's sort of a intense is probably wrong word. You don't want to use that with children, but certainly a thorough instruction through the summer months to both educate and prepare both families and children for that kindergarten experience and what that academic experience is going to be, hopefully bridging that gap and making them more successful when they start school so that they start school ready. So that was, as I shared, $22,800 investment, and that'll help serve an additional 38 students in both the Holland School District as well as the Hamilton School District. That'll be served through that extension of that program. The next grant that we awarded was a 2-year grant to the Disability Network Lakeshore, and this is for a new program for youth advocacy and leadership programming. And this is particularly to educate and train the next generation of leaders with disabilities. So students with disabilities, I'm sure this doesn't come as a surprise to many, face harsh realities as it relates to equitable treatment in schools. Despite laws designed to help level the field, this program directly invests in teens with disabilities to help them discover their individual voices and collect both individually and collectively find their voice to ensure that the decisions that will impact them, that they have a voice in those, whether that be in school, in housing, employment, government, all of their lived experiences. So this new program is in partnership with the Centers for Independent Living and is actually part of a 3-year statewide plan to actively engage people with disabilities in promoting and advancing disability rights through advocacy and leadership. The Centers for Independent Living identified just 5 partners in the state to participate in this new programming, and our local disability network is one of them. As with other minority populations, having people in leadership who represent a unique perspective ensures that policies at all levels, from school to work to local to state to federal laws, are truly inclusive of this population. Right now, in the United States, approximately 26% of people live with a disability. And at the same time, only about 10% of our elected officials in the country identify as having a disability. So the purpose of this grant, of this program, is to help encourage young individuals with disabilities to see themselves as a leader and consider advocacy and using their voice to influence things that will impact them, as we all should, right?
Indeed, we should. Colleen, let me ask you a question about a development that happened at Holland City Hall earlier this week, as the Holland City Council came into agreement with the Community Foundation of the Holland Zeeland area for the foundation to be the collection point for donations for the proposed outdoor ice skating rink at Window on the Waterfront Park. Talk a little bit about the foundation's involvement with that, and what exactly will the foundation be doing with this?
Oh, I love that you asked this question. This is so exciting. Yes, we are thrilled to be partnering with the City of Holland, as we partner with the City of Holland frequently to help with charitable projects that they are trying to do within our community. So the ice rink is the newest project that the City of Holland is working to help create for our community. A lot of this was inspired by an initial $1 million gift from Frank Cry, who is a retired school teacher in the area, who this has been a dream of his. Many people know Frank. He is a beloved feature of the Holland. We call him Mr. Holland sometimes. But he really inspired the ice rink with his gift in his dream. And the City of Holland is making it happen, hopefully building that in the next I don't know the exact time frame, but soon, let's say, over on Window on the Waterfront. The Community Foundation's role will be serving as a partner to the City of Holland to accept the charitable gifts for that project. So donors will have the opportunity to give to a fund, the City of Holland Ice Rink Fund, that the city is establishing with the Community Foundation to benefit the construction of that project. So Frank has made the lead gift, and I know that others are considering what they will do as well to help make that project a reality. But really, there's an opportunity for anybody in the community to give toward that project to help make it a reality, so that we can have a wonderful ice rink on Window of the Waterfront that everybody from our community can enjoy, but also other communities come visit us to benefit our economy, give around here, and just have a wonderful time there in the winter with that facility.
And I think I could speak for a lot of people as saying that by putting the fundraising money and the assets involved in the hands of the Community Foundation, is being put in safe hands. The foundation has a very strong track record of being a reliable steward of funds in this sort of matter. So good, safe hands. And as we heard from yesterday on WHTC's Talk of the Town program with City Manager Keith Van Beek, if all goes well, ground gets broken just after tulip time. So there's a lot of excitement along the lines if the timetable does go in. And finally, as we're getting close to the end of the year, and I know probably Mike will probably talk about that when we each have our December chat, people are thinking about tax breaks. Give the CFHZ a break as well. Give them the money and they'll be able to take care of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely getting into the giving season. So as I just shared, our most recent rounds of grants, those are made possible through the generosity of our community. And so if you're considering where you might do some of your giving this year, I hope you'll consider the Community Foundation.
For more information about what the Community Foundation is doing in terms of not only some of the projects, but also if you wish to make a donation, the website is cfhz.org. That's cfhz.org. And a phone number in case you want to give them a call and talk to them directly, 616-396-6590. 616-396-6590. Colleen Hill from the Community Foundation, thank you very much for letting us know what's going on with the foundation. We hope all is well with Mike and everyone at the foundation. Look forward to chatting with you again soon. Look forward to hopefully chatting with Mike next month.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you very much, Colleen Hill on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.